Have you ever stopped to think about this real paradox you see everywhere? You've got someone working incredibly hard, maybe 12, 14 hours a day.
Right.
Total hustle mode.
Absolutely grinding.
Exactly.
Right.
But they're still you're just barely making rent or covering those monthly payments. And then on the other side, you see the successful entrepreneur.
Yeah, the one who seems to attend maybe a couple of meetings a week.
Right. Maybe play some golf, focuses on strategy, and somehow their wealth, their assets, it just keeps growing, compounding even. How does that work?
It's the big question, isn't it? And what all this research we've looked at points to very clearly is that the game, it's not really about effort, not raw effort anyway.
Because if it was just effort,
Then the person doing the hardest physical labor for the lowest wage would be the richest. But they're not. The game is all about systems. It's about design.
Yeah.
So today, we're diving into what the sources are calling the lazy millionaire mindset. It sounds provocative, but it's about that strategic thinking, that programming, that really separates people building a sustainable wealth from those just stuck in the daily grind.
and our mission here, as we unpack all this material, is to show you exactly why just putting in more hours, that raw human effort, actually has a pretty hard ceiling on your income.
Yeah, a definite limit.
And how you can start building those, well, automated leverage systems, the kind that can generate income pretty much 24/7.
Without you having to be there every second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to help you stop confusing just being busy, constant activity, with actually being productive and building something real.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack that a bit more. Effort versus system. Because this conditioning, this psychological programming, it starts really early, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. From childhood. We're
Okay.
basically told, study hard, get the grades, find a good, stable job, and you're set for life.
That's the blueprint we're given. It is. But, I mean, look around. The data just doesn't always back that up. We
Okay.
see highly educated people, folks with advanced degrees who are really struggling, drowning in student debt maybe, or just can't find that stability they were promised.
Right, so the promise doesn't always match reality.
Not always. And think about that comparison again. The manual laborer earning, say, 500 rupees for 12 hours of really tough work versus the construction company owner who might make millions from like one project meeting.
The difference isn't who works harder physically.
Definitely not.
Mhm.
The laborer is working incredibly hard. The owner, though, has built a system. They've abstracted themselves from doing the physical work directly. That's the key.
Abstraction, okay. So the formula most people operate on is what? Money equals effort times time.
Pretty much. Money, effort, X time. And because your time is finite, only 24 hours in a day, and your physical effort has limits, well, your income potential has a hard cap built right in.
You can only work so many hours, lift so many things, make so many calls yourself.
Exactly. Which leads us to how the millionaire thinks. According to this research, their formula looks different. It's something like money, system X scalability, plus maybe a little bit of leveraged effort.
System time scalability.
Mhm.
Okay, that's interesting. So the focus shifts from just putting in hours to building something that can grow beyond your hours.
Precisely. Scalability is the magic word there.
Now, this lazy millionaire label, it feels a bit misleading, right? Because surely building the system in the first place, like, say, Ambani building the Geo network or those huge refineries, that takes immense effort up front, maybe 18 months of just brutal, focused work.
Yes. That's a critical distinction. You absolutely have to acknowledge that. The lazy part isn't about the creation phase. That often requires intense, maybe even obsessive effort.
Right, the initial build.
Yes. The lazy part refers to the ongoing operation and maintenance after the system is built. You put in the hard yards up front to build the machine.
So you don't have to keep manually tuning the crank forever.
Exactly. You front load the work. Think about the teacher example they use. A traditional teacher in a classroom might reach 30 students in an hour. That's their cap.
Limited by the room size and time.
If that same teacher invests, say, several months creating a really comprehensive online course, now they can potentially reach millions.
While they're sleeping or traveling.
Correct. The system, the online course platform, the marketing funnel, is doing the selling and delivering 24/7. Not the individual teacher, hour after hour. That's scalability through a system. So, okay, you've committed to building that system. The next step, really, to unlock serious growth, you have to move beyond just what you can do personally.
Right, you need to amplify your efforts, which
That's-
sounds like leverage.
Leverage is the name of the game here. And fundamentally, leverage is just using other people's time or their money, their knowledge, even their systems to get bigger results than you could on your own.
So if you build a team, say, 10 skilled people working 8 hours a day.
You haven't just added 10 people. You've effectively added 80 productive hours to your day, all focused on your goal. That's time leverage.
That makes sense.
The really successful industrialists, they got this instinctively. Think about that Henry Ford story. When people criticized him for not knowing every single detail about car manufacturing,
Yeah, what was his response?
he basically said he didn't need to know everything. He had, and the quote is something like, an expert attached to every button in his office. Push a button, get the expert answer.
So he was leveraging expert knowledge instantly.
Precisely. Which freed him up to focus on the big picture. Strategy, vision, where the company was going next, not the tiny details.
And that principle, don't do it, get it done, that must be way easier now with digital tools, right?
Oh, massively easier. Think about digital leverage. You create a really valuable piece of content once maybe it's a great blog post, an automated email series that nurtures leads, or a YouTube video that takes off.
You put the effort in up front.
Right. Singular effort. But then that digital asset can keep working for you. 247. Generating views, leads, revenue, building trust. Potentially for years, with no more direct effort from you on that specific piece.
That's powerful. Digital leverage.
And this flows right into automation. The Lazy Millionaire uses systems to automate anything repetitive. Why? To ensure consistency, first off, and also to prevent burnout from doing the same manual tasks over and over.
Like the McDonald's example the sources mentioned.
Classic example. Their huge success isn't because Ray Kroc was the world's best chef flipping burgers himself.
No, it was the system.
Absolutely. The standardized system. Detailed training manuals, specialized equipment that anyone can learn to use quickly, a super rigid supply chain. That's the core of it.
And because that system guarantees consistency everywhere in the world.
The owner or the corporation is freed up. They can focus on scaling, finding new locations, financing, global strategy, while their competitors, the ones without that robust system, are probably still stuck in the kitchen, literally or figuratively.
It's the same logic with Jeff Bezos, right?
Yes.
Started packing books.
Yep. But very quickly moved to building the systems. Warehouses, sophisticated logistics, delivery networks, AI for recommendations, all designed to run largely independently of his physical presence day to day.
So automation lets you replace yourself in the operations, which is what allows for that unlimited growth potential.
That's the core idea. Replace yourself with systems and automation to scale. Okay. Now, you could build the most brilliant system in the world, nail the automation, but if your internal wiring, your mindset is working against you, it probably won't matter much.
The inner game. We have to talk about mastering your own mind, dealing with fear, and where you put your focus.
Exactly. It really starts with a fundamental shift in perspective, moving away from what they call a scarcity mindset.
The idea that there's only so much to go around,
Right.
like a limited pie.
Right. If they get rich, there's less for me. That kind of thinking. You have to shift towards an abundance mindset.
Which belief?
That opportunities, value creation, wealth, it's essentially infinite. The market is vast. Someone else's success doesn't prevent yours. In fact, it can often create more opportunities.
Okay, abundance, not scarcity.
And this internal shift, the research calls it wealth programming. The idea is that wealth, substantial wealth, has to be created in your mind first before it shows up in your bank account.
Like visualization.
Exactly. Look at the Jim Carrey story. Years before he hit it big, he famously wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered, dated it for the future.
And he kept it in his wallet and looked at it all the time.
He visualized that reality. He programmed his subconscious to accept that outcome as not just possible, but inevitable. You have to convince your own brain first.
So visualization, affirmations, gratitude, those techniques help build that abundance mindset. But what about the big blocker? Fear.
Ah, yes. Fear is huge. Fear of failure, fear of what people will think, fear of losing money if you invest. According to these sources, that fear is what keeps like 90% of people trapped in an average life, even if they have great potential.
So how do these successful people handle fear? They must feel it too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They just have frameworks to manage it. Look at Elon Musk. When he's considering some huge, risky venture like SpaceX or Tesla in the early days, his approach is apparently quite simple.
What does he do?
He asks, okay, what is the absolute worst thing that could possibly happen if this fails completely?
Defining the downside.
Exactly. And if that worst case scenario, even if it's bad, is ultimately survivable, meaning you could pick yourself up, learn from it, and keep going, then the risk is often deemed manageable. especially compared to the potential massive upside.
That's a practical way to look at it. It makes the fear less paralyzing.
It does, and the research suggests a little exercise. They call it the fear flip. When you feel that fear taking over, actually write it down.
Write down the fear.
Yeah. Write down 1, the absolute worst case scenario your mind is cooking up. 2, the absolute best case scenario, the dream outcome. And then, crucially, 3, write down exactly, step by step, how you would actually handle the worst case if it happened.
Making a plan for the worst case.
Right. And what you usually find, probably 99% of the time, is that the worst case, while maybe unpleasant or inconvenient, is not the end of the world. It's a setback, not the apocalypse your fear brain imagines.
Takes the power out of the fear.
Okay.
Mindset, fear. What about focus?
Focus is critical. Think of your daily energy and attention as like a finite currency. You only have so much each day.
Right. Non-renewable for the day.
Exactly. Now, the average person tends to spend that valuable energy currency on, well, low-impact stuff. Endless scrolling on social media, comparing themselves to others, getting sucked into office gossip or drama.
The energy vampires, as the sources call them.
Yeah. They end the day feeling exhausted, but they haven't actually moved closer to their big goals. They haven't really built anything.
Whereas the lazy millionaire.
Yeah. They guard that energy fiercely. They invest it very intentionally into maybe just 3 or 4 high-impact tasks each day. The tasks that directly build or improve their system.
It reminds me of that story about Warren Buffett and Bill Gates.
Oh yeah, the dinner party story, where they were independently asked to write down the single most important factor for their success.
And they both wrote the same word.
Focus. Just one word. Focus. They understood that trying to do everything, that multitasking myth, is actually the enemy of achieving anything truly significant. Deep, concentrated focus on the vital few tasks.
Okay, so we've got the mindset shift, the importance of systems and leverage, managing fear and maintaining focus. Now, let's talk about the actual structure. How do you organize things to support this? What's the real end goal here? Is it just accumulating money?
That's a great point. According to these sources, the ultimate metric, the real definition of wealth in this lazy millionaire framework, isn't just the number in your bank account, it's time freedom.
Time freedom. Control over your own time.
Exactly. That's the crucial difference they highlight. Most people are stuck selling their time for money. You trade hours for dollars.
The standard job model.
Right. But the millionaire, operating with this mindset, uses their money and their systems to buy back their time.
Interesting. Buying time.
Yeah. Richard Branson is quoted saying something similar, that his whole approach to business is fundamentally about creating more time freedom for himself so he can explore new ideas, new ventures, while his established businesses run effectively without his constant input.
So how do you achieve that? How do you master your time?
Well, a few key techniques come up repeatedly. Aggressive delegation is one.
Getting things off your plate.
Ruthlessly getting things off your plate. And not just anything, specifically the low-value tasks. You need to apply that 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, very specifically here.
Yeah.
Identify the 20% of your activities that generate 80% of your results or income. Really nail those down. Then, the other 80%, the tasks that eat up time but don't produce much value, you need to delegate them, automate them, or just eliminate them if possible, immediately.
Freeing up your energy for that critical 20%.
Precisely. That's where your focus should be. Then there's prioritization, obviously linked to that, and building what they call schedule freedom, designing your days around energy and impact, not just reacting to demands.
Makes sense. What about relationships? How does networking fit in?
Hugely important. There's this principle, your network is your net worth. And it's true. You simply cannot achieve significant growth entirely on your own.
No person is an island.
Right. And the key here is focusing on long-term win-win relationships, not just quick transactional deals. And specifically, the sources say seek out connectors.
Connectors, as opposed to doers. What's the difference?
Okay, so a doer is someone who's great at executing tasks. They build the parts of the system you absolutely need doers, but they operate within a defined scope.
They get things done.
Yes. A connector, on the other hand, is someone whose primary value lies in linking people, ideas, capital, or opportunities together. They see the bigger picture and make introductions.
They bridge gaps.
Exactly. By building relationships with connectors, you gain access to a much wider pool of resources, knowledge, and potential partnerships than you could ever find just by yourself. The lazy millionaire focuses on connecting the dots, not necessarily coloring them all in personally.
Interesting distinction. Okay, systems, leverage, mindset, time, network. What about income itself?
Right, the actual money flow. The core principle here is building multiple income streams.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Pretty much. If your entire financial life depends on a single salary from one job, you're incredibly vulnerable. One layoff, one company downturn, and you're in trouble.
So diversification of income.
Yes. The wealthiest individuals, according to this, always ensure they have multiple faucets bringing money in. If one faucet unexpectedly shuts off, the others keep flowing.
And the emphasis is on a specific type of income stream, right? Passive income.
Big emphasis on that. You need to understand the difference between active income, what you earn from your direct effort, like a salary or freelancing.
Trading time for money again.
Exactly. And passive income money that comes in regularly from assets you own with minimal ongoing effort. Things like rental income from property, royalties from a book or music, dividends from stocks, profits from an automated online business.
Okay.
The strategy is generally to use your active income, especially early on, not just for living expenses, but to intentionally build or buy these passive income machines.
So active income fuels the creation of passive income.
That's the goal. Eventually, the aim is for your total passive income to exceed your monthly expenses. That's the point of true financial freedom. You're no longer dependent on actively working for money.
And is there a guideline for how to allocate the wealth generated?
Yes. The sources suggest a framework, often called the 70-20-10 rule, for allocating capital once you start accumulating it.
70-20-10. How does that break down?
Roughly, it's allocate 70% of your investment capital to relatively safe, stable assets. Things like real estate, maybe some bonds, your foundation.
Okay, the secure base.
Then 20% goes into growth assets. These carry a bit more risk, but have higher potential returns. Think stocks, investing in established businesses.
Aiming for solid growth.
And finally, 10% is allocated to high-risk, potentially high-reward ventures. This could be things like cryptocurrency, angel investing in startups, speculative plays.
The moonshot category.
Kind of, yeah. That 10% is crucial because it gives you exposure to potentially exponential growth and innovation. But the thinking is, even if that entire 10% goes to zero...
Your foundation, the 70%, is still secure.
Exactly. Your core wealth is protected by the systems and safer assets, but you still have a calculated slice dedicated to hitting home runs. It's a balanced approach designed for both safety and significant upside potential. Financial immunity, almost.
All right, so let's try to summarize this lazy millionaire code we've unpacked today. First, you've got to break that deeply ingrained myth that just working harder and longer is the path to wealth.
Absolutely. Step 1 is realizing effort alone isn't enough. Step 2 is build systems. Design processes and assets that can operate and generate value without your constant direct involvement. Aim for 204/7 operation.
Then use leverage. Leverage other people's time, money, knowledge, systems. Whatever you can to amplify your own limited capacity. Don't try to do everything yourself.
And guard your focus and energy. Invest them only in those few high-impact activities that truly move the needle on your systems and goals. Avoid the energy vampires.
And underpinning it all is the mindset. Cultivate that abundance perspective. Believe that wealth and opportunity are available and program your mind for success.
Couldn't agree more. And crucially, remember how to handle setbacks. Failure isn't the end, it's just data. Exactly. Treat it like the fees of learning, as some put it. Think like Thomas Edison. Finding 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb wasn't failure, it was progress. That resilience is absolutely essential.
So the final provocative thought we want to leave you, the listener, with is this. The mindset we've been exploring, the lazy millionaire mind. It doesn't constantly ask, how can I possibly cram 18 hours of work into today?
No, the question is different. It's how can I design a better system today so that less of my direct work yields more results, more income, more freedom year after year? That's the strategic question.
Because true freedom, at the end of the day, is about choice. The ability to choose when you work, where you work, how you live, and what you focus on.
The choice is really yours now. Are you going to continue just reacting, selling your limited time and effort? Or are you going to start activating this code? Start designing a life where systems and leverage work tirelessly for you.
Start building those automated machines. Start today.